Hello everyone. Uh, Today, myself Pooja Pandey, Assistant Professor in the MCA department in the AKG College. I'm going to deliver a lecture on the generic programming, that is a part of the object-oriented programming. And in the MCA syllabus, it is in the chapter 4. Now, what topics I'm going to cover is that what do you mean by the generic programming? Then what is the meaning of the term generic? Why we need generic? Then what are generic classes? What are generic methods? Bounded types, its advantages, and all are these explained with the simple example you see. Now, when we are talking about the generic programming is a programming paradigm that allow us to write the algorithms and data structures that are independent of the specific data type they operate on. Okay, so that means that in this we can write the code, we can write a code that works variety on the different data types, or we don't have to rewrite the code for the each specific type. Once we have written, we can use it for the other also, right? And generic programming is an art of designing and implementing, you can say it is a part of designing and implementing efficiently the generic libraries based on the templates. Mainly you can say that in generic programming, we use a defined template and in that we put our data types or data. Then the terminology says that what do you mean by the generic in the Java, or what is the meaning of the word generic? When we are discussing about the generic programming, then in our mind a point comes that what do you mean by the word generic? So generic means your parameterized types. If you see there, this one, right, this parameterized type, we are saying in generic it is possible to create, or you can create the class that work with the different data types, right? That means that generic allow us to create a single class. If I am talking about the generic allow us to create a single class, interface, or the method, and it can be used for the different types of the data object. And one more thing we have to keep in the mind, that generic is help us to reuse our code. This terminology, if I am using the reuse, that is a main part of the generic programming, or you can say further we will discuss when we are going to discuss about the advantages of the generic programming. It is a main part of the generic programming that we can use our reuse, because generic means the parameterized type, right? So we can create a class, and that class can work with the different data types in the same program, right? In the further example, we will see that how we are using it. Now, a terminology comes that what do you mean by the generic entity? When we are discussing that what do you mean by the generic entity, it is an entity such as class or interface or the methods that operates on a parameterized type. That is, it works with the, you can say that, method that operates on the parameterized type, and it is termed as your generic entity. These terminology should be very clear, that because when we are doing the generic programming, this terminology should be very clear, so it will help us to do the programming in the better way. So next, the question comes in our mind that why we need the generic class. See, generic is in Java is similar as a template we are using in the C++. So generic is Java is used to create the classes, method, or the interfaces and the methods that operates on the type specified by the programmer at the time of the use, right? We are using to create the class. When we are working on the class, we are creating the class, or we are using the interface, or we are creating the methods. We use this type specified by the programmer. So we are using the generic. And generic, we need the generic because it provide a type safety. If you say, it provide a type safety, and it reduces the need of typecasting. Before that, we typecast our program, and it make our program more robust and easier to read. That's why we need the generic in the Java, right? If I am saying that, now, then if we are discussing about the simple explanation about that. You can understand the simple is that, for example, in the simple life, imagine you are using a storage box, right, that it contains various items. In the generic storage box, we can specify the type of the item it will hold when we use it, right. This way we can use the same storage box for the different types of the item without needing to create a new box for each type, right. When we are not using the generic, what we do, we take the separate boxes for individual things, right, and we designed specifically for one type of the item. For example, if we want to store the toys, or we want to store the clothes, or we want to store the books, we will define that this box will be always used for the toys, and this box will is labeled for the clothes. But that is when we are storing a new item, we need to create a new box, right. But with the help of the generic, we are simply creating a single box template, and in that box we can specify the type of item we are using, and that same box can be used for any type of the item at each time. You can say that. For example, it means that when we are using the same box, we can use that same box for the toys, clothes, or the books when we are talking about in terms of the generic, because that we are using it as a single template and it can be used for anything, right. Now, the point comes that what do you mean by the generic classes, right. When we create a class that can be used with any type of data, it is called as your generic class. Again, I am repeating that when we create a class and that can be used with any type of data, and it is known as the generic class, right. So, in the example, in next slide, we have defined, I have taken an example in that I have created a generic class whose name is generic class. I have taken, right, this keyword I have taken, and this class is used to work with any type of data you say, and its syntax is class, generic class, and this brackets, angle brackets are used to indicate the type parameter, and this is a thing that differentiate your generic class with the other normal class. This is a syntax. Whenever we are using the generic classes, we are using this type of syntax. This angle brackets are used. In that we are using the type parameter. In that we are using the type parameter. So T here is a type parameter, right. Now this T is replaced in the further program. The T is replaced by the integer data and the string data, right. We are defining the integer object and the string object, and this generic class, this T is you can say it is replaced by the integer and the string, right. So we are coming on the example. See, this is an example to create a generic class. If we see that till now we know how do we do the programming in the Java, so I am not discussing that things how we are doing. I am just coming on the point. Here you see in this program that we are initializing a generic class with the integer data we are initializing, right. What I am doing here, I am taking the generic class integer int object is equals to new generic classes. This, see, this angle is given, right, and this is empty. Why? Because here we are taking it as a integer, and that will be replaced here by this T, you say. This is integer object is replaced by the T. Clear? Now here I am taking initialize generic class with the string data, right. Here you see, here I have defined the integer, here I am defining the string and a string object, and this string object is replaced by the parameter, you can say type this T. Okay. So now what I have given, if you say this, all these things method have been returned here, and I have created a class. We have initialized the generic class. I have initialized the generic class here with the integer data. I have initialized the class. I have initialized the string data this generic class with the string data you see, and both these things are replaced by the this one. I'm creating a T, right? So these things is replaced by this. Now if I execute this program, okay, if I have saved this program with the main one, this class name I have used, you say this class, you can see this, always the program is saved by the class name. So here the class name is main1, and when I am compiling and executing this program, my you can see the output. The output is generic class, it returns 5, right? And if you see the generic class returns Java programming. So both the integer and the string variable has been taken. You can see that here the object, this integer, and here it is a string, and these both are replaced by the T, and my output is coming like this. That is for the normal how we are creating a generic class in a simple program. Now, what do you mean by the generic method? Generic method is, it is similar to the, you can say it is similar to the generic class. How we are creating a class in the generic, it is same way we are creating a methods in the we are creating a method that can be used with any type of the data. So that classes is known as a generic method. Now if we see the program here, if you see this program, how I have created, I am creating the method. You will say that I have initialized the class with the integer data. This I have initialized the integer, right? Now generic method working with the string. How it is working? You see that, remember that object is defined, right? So here I have taken demo dot, here I have mentioned the string generic method, here I have mentioned this generic method integer. Now both these string and both this integer is replaced by how? It is replaced by this one. It is replaced by this. Okay, this both string and integer is replaced by the, if you see that both this string and integer, this generic method working with integer, generic method working with the strings, these both things are replaced by here T with the generic method, and this have taken both the things in it, and we are getting the output here. If you see, we are getting the output here, that is data is passed. Okay, this generic method, again this generic method, this is a string and this is integer value. So here we can see that when we are defining or when we are using the data type and we have initialized all these things in the Angular bracket, if we say that T, all things are replaced here, and this is called, and whenever this is called, our output is like this. This is string and the integer, right? Now when I am talking about your bounded type means that in general the type parameter, you can say it can accept any data type except the primitive type. And what do you mean by the primitive type? That is integer, char and the float values, they don't accept that, right? But when we want to use generic for the specific types except the data of the number types, then only we can use the bounded type. Remember that when we are using, we want to generic for the specific, some specific types, but not for the numbers, then we can use it for the bounded type. In case of the bounded type, now our keyword is changed. Now it is not only in the Angular brackets, something we should add in it, and that is your keyword will be in Angular bracket T extend A. What does it mean? It means that the T, this word T will only accept the data that are the subtypes of the A. Means that what are the things A is containing in it, it will only accept that data according to this. So we are defining like this. This is a bounded type, right? If I am taking an example of this bounded type, if you see that what I have taken here, if you see that generic class T extends number. Okay, here I have defined extant number, that means that this T will only take the values or the subtype number, whatever the data is in the number, it will only taken by this, nothing else in the program I will take, right? Here I have defined the T extant number, then it will take only number. It will not take, if here I am defining, if I am creating an object of the string object, then it will not take. It will only again take the integer value, because what we have defined here the number, so that's why we are here, it is taking the integer. But if we want to use, you can say, the string, it will not take. Remember that it will not take, because we have defined the numbers here. Okay. So again, when I am executing my program and compiling, I will get the output that this is bounded type generic class. You know how it is saved, how the path is set. Okay, in the previous lecture I have discussed with you all, though this is a final, that this is a bounded type, the generic class. Now, what are the main advantages of the generic programming if I am discussing over the OOPS, object oriented programming, why it is considered far better than the object oriented programming? The first time is type safety. So whenever in generic, when we specify the type of the data class or the method, this ensure that whatever the specified data types are passed to the code, it prevent the runtime error. The specific is that it prevents the runtime errors and it improves the reliability of the program, right? Now code, the code can be reused. For example, when we can create a same code that can work with the multiple data type. So this reduce the code duplication, improve code, and our code will become the more efficient. When we are, for example, when we are creating the program in the previous slide, if you have seen that T that I have taken in the angular bracket is replaced, this integer and the string is replaced by the T, that angular bracket, the parameter what I have used, and so that same thing can be used for the other also. So it removes the duplicacy of the program, so our code can be reused, right? Now another advantage is our compile time checking. When I am discussing about the compile time checking, this means that error can be detected whenever there is a development process rather than on the runtime, because that will help in how, because we are using the integer, we are replacing the integer string or any type of the data types with the parameterized data type. So it is deducted in the development process rather than our runtime. So it improves the reliability of our code and it also saves the time. Now generic programming has optimized our code, so it reduces the runtime, right? It saves the time, so that's why it is, our performance of the program has been improved. So that is what we have discussed: the type safety, code reuse, compile time checking, and the improved performance. Now, if I am saying the greater flexibility, yes, it is greater flexibility, because simply we have defined the defined in the angular bracket the parameterized type, and that is used for the several other data type. So it helps to help our program to be more flexible, and that is because of the generic, because it is highly adaptable, right? And it can be worked with the complex, this generic terminology or generic programming can be worked in the complex data structure. So whenever we read or when we need to write the code that can work with the multiple data type, so without creating any confusion, when we are using this generic programming, it helps us to find out in minimum time and in minimum things we can use this generic, because it is highly adaptable. Better documentation. Now the next point is your better documentation. If I am discussing about the better documentation in the generic, see, in generic we know that it is clear to the other developer that how our code can work with. So this makes our code more readable and easier to understand and sustainable. So that is because what I am using, it is very see, it is defined that the T in Angular bracket is used for the I am using it for the object, for the string, integer, or the float value, or the char value. So other developer who are working on my code, that can understand very easily that what type of data type I am using, because it is documented. The specific things are documented in that. So generic programming is very advantageous. Now it avoid the casting. It means that you can say it is which is, see, generic allows Java, generic in Java allows you to avoid casting, which is very common in the Java program. So when we specify type of the data, class, method, or interface we are working, generally generic is eliminating the need of the casting, if you say, and makes our code very concise and readable and the maintainable. So all these things, again, greater flexibility, better documentation, avoid casting, again they are the advantages of your Java, of your generic programming. Right, now this is a easier debugging. See, obvious thing is that the generic in Java also make the debugging very easily. So whenever you provide the information about the data type that your code can work, so you can say that generic can easily identify the errors and bugs more quickly and the accurately than comparatively to the previous one. So it save our time and effort, and in the minimum time we will get the very overall quality of our code. So it is helpful. So right, if I am saying the interoperability, it means that Java generic in Java make it easier to write the code that works on the with other Java libraries and the framework. So when we are using the generic, we are ensuring that our code is compatible with the other Java code, and it will help. It is easier to integrate our code with the other software and the systems. And the code is, and the last one is cleaner code. Already I am defining the in Angular brackets, I am defining my integer and the character, I am defining my float values, and it is clearly stated that primitive data types are not allowed. So it helps us to make certain things, may help us to make our code very clear and clean and error free. So it helps our code more readable, maintainable, and efficient. So these all are the advantages of the you can say the generic programming. So in this lecture, what I have discussed that what do you mean by the generic programming, what do you mean by the terminology generic in Java, why we need the generic. Then again I have used I have explained three things, that is generic classes, generic method, and the bounded types. And if I say that all the things, these three are explained clearly with the examples, and again we have discussed very elaborated way, we have discussed our Java this generic advantages. What are the advantages of the generic programming over OOPS? So if I am talking a single advantages of the generic programming is that it is easier to code, it helps to find out, it can be easily optimized, and the code is very clear. And the one small thing we should keep in our mind when we are using the generic programming is that the code is the same code can be reused for we can use the code again with the other also, right? Because the things are very clearly documented, so other developer also understand what I am using, right? So thank you all for this lecture. See you forward. Thank you.